Tonight, I have a special surprise for you. We have some of the best and brightest stars in Houston comedy, basically the world. Tonight, we'll dig into a new project that'll be coming out September the 5th, Breakfast at Auntie Dee's. We have the stars of the show. We also have the brainchild behind it. What we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and forward over to the promotional so you can check it out for yourselves. When we come back, we'll have our first group of illustrious guests. So y'all stay tuned. World Views with Ken Mills on Boss Up Houston Network.
Breakfast at Auntie D's, take one. That's all it's going to take.
Ricky Daddy's on the beat.
Wine, dime, kill it time. Heard it through the grapevine. You the type of you that like to get dime anytime. Wine, dime, kill it time. Heard it through the grapevine. You the type of you that like to get dime anytime. Wine, dime, kill it time. Heard it through the grapevine. And you the type of you that like to get dime anytime. Gun, please sipper, Moet, Patron sipper. Do you the type of girl that like to pull down the zipper?
I like your shoes.
Head to fate, appetizer. After this, I'm digging your thighs. Real Deborah Hills eyes. Look in your eyes. You gotta smirk upon your
Go sit down, baby. Go sit down.
and I'm impressed with your waist, petite shape in your thigh. Compliment you on your booty and your hair and your booty. Hey.
Here you go, baby.
Wine, dine, kill the time. Heard it through the grapevine. And you the type of dude that like to get down anytime. Comfort zone where you.
Cut.
Hey family, we're back here again. How did y'all like the promo? Wasn't it lovely? Don't you want to go out and see this movie? Now, who I have here now, I have Nicole Mars, the director of Breakfast with Auntie Dee's, at Auntie Dee's. I also have behind the comic,
Yes.
Cliff 2, and the boss lady. This is their brainchild, and this is their entertainment company that's providing all of the fun and laughs here. So what I'll do, I'll start with behind the comic. So how did you all start your own entertainment company?
Well, first, let me say thank you for having us on your show.
Okay,
And,
okay.
and it's great just being here, with Boss Up Network doing our thing. And, man, the movie is actually a prequel to a larger movie called Trying to Get On. I had back a couple of years ago when I first started comedy, we did a road trip all the way to Omaha, Nebraska. It was me, Lil Darrel, Leroy III, Keisha Hunt. I think that's all was in the car. And Ma was on the way back, right? And I documented the whole thing. I was sitting on it because, doing comedy, there's a lot more ways of entertainment than just being a comic or a comedian, because they're two different things.
Right.
And so I wrote it all up in my head. So I documented. I sat on it for about a year. So up pop Miss Nicole Mars with Merkaba Films, and through Mike Worm, who's a very, very funny comedian here in Houston. He introduced me to Nicole and said, she's a script writer. I was like, wow, I need her. So I went and talked to her one day, and the first thing she told me, don't tell me about nothing. Put it on paper. Yeah. So I went home, I think like 2 nights. I put it all on paper and I came running back to her, and she said, okay, this is what this is. And she wrote the script out for me. And man, it was more than I could imagine. My dream was to have, a comedy movie that was something, for my people, basically.
Okay.
No awards or nothing, just something my people can go and look at and say, okay, that's good work. With the direction of Miss Nicole Mars with Merkaba Films, man, we it's brilliant comedy, funny, man. Just, I don't know.
Yes, and I can attest to that. Now I'm gonna let the cat out the bag. I'm in this movie.
In the movie.
I didn't want to say that because you hadn't said nothing yet, but
so you already know. I know what's on tape. So I'm telling y'all, if y'all get the chance, y'all need to Take a look at it whenever it premieres. Now,
you know, he didn't tell the real story about how he wrote this movie. He made it sound all nice.
thank you. I'm
and
coming
sweet.
to you.
This sounds like
He
some
wrote the
Nestor.
movie in one night because he was pissed off and couldn't sleep. You know, they say don't go to bed mad.
Yeah.
So he put it on paper. So he was no longer mad when he finished writing. Well, I'm glad he took it out on the pen and paper, not me. But that's how it really happened. He really was pissed off about something, stayed up all night, wrote the movie, woke up the next morning and said, hey, I need you to read this. You know, so I'm like, okay, I'm reading it. You know, I was reading it and put it all into a good, flowable format and gave it to Nicole and everything. But I did hear you also ask a question about how we came up with the entertainment company itself. And there's a whole story behind the comedy as well, because it's one of those things. My husband worked a good job and he was making money, but he also liked to partake in extracurricular activities and everything. So, you know, boy, it's the truth. So it was either go make $30 an hour or do what you want to do. And he said, I want to go do what I want to do. Well, you have to treat it like a real job then. So, and that's where he says that it's more than just comedy, because we never came in trying to be the funniest person on stage or whatever.
No.
So
Came in trying to eat.
Yeah.
And anything we do want to eat. And, you know, to piggyback off that just a little bit, and I'll be brief with it, I was blessed enough to have a wife to say, tell you what, let's save some money and let's go do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's I've been blessed 17 years like that.
Yeah, because I didn't want to deal with him when he wasn't doing what he wanted to do. We just got to keep it real. You know, you got to pick your battle. You either going to let him go out there or you going to support him in what he do. A lot of women don't support their men. So I'm like, yeah, I'll support you in what you do, but you have to make it just like a job. We're going to have evaluations and not punishments, but you know, we're going to have,
right
you know, right up. I'm just saying. You know, we're going to reprimand you when you need to be reprimanded.
Like my mama say, the pen gonna win.
You
You're
know?
not ready to relax back.
Yeah.
Now, you have a very unique name that you go by, the Boss Lady. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, not your ordinary boss. You know, not B.O.S. like Bossed Up Network or anything like that. B.A.W.S. Beautifully Anointed Woman of Substance. So, like, you see the kind of man I have. He's a big guy and everything, so I kind of have to, you know, put my chest out sometimes so I don't feel so meek and mild and everything. But in a lot of the work that we doing around our community or whatever, when people see us work together, of course they say, we boss lady, I'm going to talk to the boss lady. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to just be walking around here talking about I'm a boss and all that, because there's nothing there. It's just saying I'm a boss. But okay, so what can I do with that? And so I came up with this beautifully anointed woman of substance, and says it makes sense.
And it's been working and selling.
And it's something other women should strive to be. When you say something, there should be something that comes along with it. It's not just an empty thought. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to represent the name that I wear.
Understood.
Yeah.
And I can attest to it that you're a boss in many ways, and even with that acronym. So you're not the only person that's on set with an acronym. So, Nicole, could you tell us a little bit more about B.W.S?
Yes. B.W.S is an organization called Brilliant Women in Film, and it's a collection of female filmmakers. And the whole purpose, I'm one of the founding members, and the whole purpose of creating the organization was because a lot of times women are treated unfairly on set, or not given a fair chance, or faced with harassment or different things like that. So we want a place just for women, you know, of all colors, all nationalities, because I think as a filmmaker, if you subjected to just a box of a group of people or something, you're missing ideas and you're missing great movies and thoughts that you never thought of. And that's what creating movies are about. And that's one of the things that you know, I hold dear to me, is that my goal is to move minds. You know, make you think of something that you may never, you know, thought of, you know, and maybe get a better perspective. For instance, you know, if someone breaks their child arm, they're going to call CPS, right? They're going to take your child away.
Right.
Or maybe somewhere in Mexico, if they break the child arm, you know, it's not looked at as bad because they broke the child arm so that they can get something to eat, so that they can survive. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by opening the mind.
Okay. So what was your first impression when Cliff came to you with this idea for this movie?
You mean before he wrote something down?
Yeah, before he wrote something down. I want to hear that entire story because it's very intriguing. Come on.
I don't too much remember that part. What I do remember, we were leaving Carrington's, I think. We were leaving Carrington's and they were parked in front.
Right.
And I had met Mike Warren first at Duck Off. And he was talking about a movie. And I helped him with that. And then so he had told you about me and he didn't believe him. And then we were at the Silver Eagle. Okay. And we was at the Silver Eagle. Okay, and that's when I first stepped into the comedy scene because Mike Worm invited me. Hey, come out, listen to comedy. And I remember it was Darrel. Leroy didn't perform, but Leroy was there. You were there, you know,
Tone.
stuff like and Tone. Yeah, and they were there and stuff. You know what I was doing. I was sitting next to work like, okay, what's going on? You know. Yeah, they hijacked. Yes, I have a picture of that. Yeah. And so anyway, so when we were leaving or whatever, no, you told Mike. He said this is the producer, whatever. He's like, I thought you was lying. Yeah, I thought you was like. He's talking about no, she really is a filmmaker. So then that's how we connected. And then when I saw y'all two at the Carringtons again, we were leaving, and yeah, I had a thought there. And then that's when he said, hey, I got a film idea, you know, and I was just like, okay.
Write it down.
You know, kind of thinking. I think y'all called, and then I said, whatever it is, just write it down, even if it's on the napkin. You know, because that lets me know how serious you are. Because as a filmmaker, a lot of times people come to us as just, I got this idea. They really do that, and see, and then in the rain come down, and then it's the and it's like, I gotta pee. You know what I'm saying? You know that kind of thing. So it's like you have all these ideas, and I understand you may not conceptualize them. That's what I'm here for. That's what but you have at least some beginning, middle, and end of a thought, and then I'll fill it in. So that's what I specialize in my script writing service. Script writing service is I take raw ideas and transform them into reality.
Reality enough that almost
a visual reality.
Yeah, because the way he was after he read that, it was like.
Yeah, he had just 2 pages of notes in a little notebook, just 2 pages of notes in a notebook.
Yeah, he was very excited when he read the finished product because it was like, this is exactly what I wanted.
You know, to piggyback on that, I had 2 movies I already wrote, but she didn't want to take but one at a time. So I'm waiting till we finish this one because I have a few more things waiting to bust wide open, but she won't work with me till we finish this one on that.
So I have a special job for you there, Nicole. Everybody knows about my weight loss, and I want to be an R&B heartthrob.
Okay, all right.
So when you said the rain, me and my wife, we're gonna do a video singing in the rain.
Okay.
Rick James, Fire and Desire.
Oh my God.
Y'all watch out for that.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be a hit. That's gonna definitely be a hit.
Why not?
I'm Rick James.
So, also, I want to cover this very, very briefly, and I'll go to you, Cliff.
Okay.
What is the premise behind the movie? I know you talked about the road trip from Omaha, Nebraska, back here, but what was the premise?
The premise is 2 comedians. One of them is extremely funny, with just talent beyond belief. And then one of the other comedians not as funny, but he always goes out and hustles, gets the jobs, gets the work for the comedian who's funny, but he has woman problems. He parties all day. All he want to do is party and get on stage. That's it. And he's extremely good at his job, so the money's always there. So all he want to do is party and get on stage. So, in part of development of it, that's how it came together. Just 2 comedians, basically in a larger movie. Like I said, this is a prequel trying to get on. It's a big show in Omaha, Nebraska, the biggest show ever, and we're trying to get to it so we can get Darrel on because we know he's gonna win everything. And after you win everything, we rich. We made it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We made it.
Now, guys, thank y'all. But what we'd like to do, we'd like to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna bring in the star of the movie.
Oh man.
Okay. So y'all just stay tuned, chill here with us, Ken Mills here with World Views on Boss Up Houston Network.
Stay up. Where we look up, stay up.
Hey, we're back here again. World Views with Ken Mills. Now, my second illustrious guest here, none other than Sandra Dee. Sandra, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Ken?
I'm all right. I see you got your bedazzled mask on.
I sure do. I told you I'm in the cone like Laura. I'm in the cone for Corona. I'm in the cone, so I take care of myself. I don't want to be sick. I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't risk it.
I understand. I definitely understand. So, Sandra, I mean, you have a heck of a journey. We're here to talk about a movie that you're starring in. But could you take us through some of the steps that you've took in order to get to this point?
Oh yeah, I can tell you how I started comedy, which I started. I think next year make 4 years, but I've only been doing this about a little over 3.5 years. I started in 2017, and I wasn't trying to do comedy. A friend of mine, Foxy, she was trying to do comedy, and we have a mutual friend, and she told her, I know this lady from work. She worked with me. She said, she's so funny in the meetings, the morning meetings. She funny in the morning meetings. You need to let her critique your jokes before you go to the improv, because she was going to do the open mic at the improv.
Right.
And so I said, okay. So I went over there. We did a Christmas party, and we critiqued, me and a couple of other ladies, we critiqued the jokes, and they kept saying, girl, you need to get up there. And I said, nah, that's all right. I said, I'm good at critiquing. So I went to support her at the improv. And she did good. She did really well. And they kept saying, oh, you need to get up there. You get her and my other friend, our mutual friend. They kept telling me to get up there. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try it out. So I went to the improv. And that's when they had you doing it in the bar. Mm-hmm. You know, only the certain people got on stage, and then some people got at the bar. So I went at the bar. I did it at the bar. And when I did it at the bar, everybody said, you did a good job. And so somebody had told me about Carrington's. And I said, I'll go to Carrington's. And that's when I met Cliff and Penny, the boss lady. And the rest is history. I kept practicing to become better. And that's all. I worked at it.
Miss Sandra, I think you underselling us here, because I know for a fact last year you won Best in Houston, Best Comic in Houston.
Yes, I did.
And then also we went out of town and you won Best in Fest in Burbank.
At the Burbank Comedy Festival at Flappers. You actually came to see me in Burbank. Ken and his wife and his brother, right?
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah, he told me he was in, I saw on Facebook he was in LA, and I messaged him. I said, y'all want to come to a free comedy show? I got tickets, because I didn't know anybody in LA. And they had gave me free tickets. I said, y'all can come in for free, just come on. And I gave them free tickets. They said, yeah. Ken said he came on and they enjoyed themselves.
I surely did. And the funny thing about it, it was an individual, I won't name him, that's heavy with NBC that was sitting right next to us, and they were jotting down everything Sandra had to say. And the funny part about it is, like, you know, when you watch someone and you watch them perform locally, you don't get the full vibe. I mean, she wowed the crowd. So,
Well, thank you, Ken. Thank you. Yeah, I was glad you got to come and see me. Somebody from Houston actually got to come and see me do something outside of Houston and see how the people react to me.
right. And that's not the only festival that you attend, right?
No, I actually did a festival in Paris, Texas this year in January. I went to another festival. I was picked to do another festival, all female festival this year in May, but Corona stopped me from doing that one. And so, I did Burbank twice. So I actually won to be on Burbank my first year doing comedy. I won to be on Burbank my first year. They picked me my first year to be when I first started out comedy. So I've been having a little round with this comedy.
For sure. Now, could you tell us a little bit about your role in Breakfast at Auntie Dee's?
Well, what I can say is that I'm a nice old lady. And really, let me go on and correct people with this old thing, because a lot of people want to say people old.
Talk to
my age, and they really showing their dumbness, because they dumb. There's 3 stages of life. I don't know if y'all practice y'all social studies or not. There is young, middle age, and old. And you know, this is not old, y'all. I want to correct y'all on that right now. This is what's called middle age. That's why people have that midlife crisis. This is midlife. You don't die. Majority of people do not die at 55 or 50. We do not die at that age, so you're not old yet. Still got a lot of life in the engine. It's still moving and humming. So, but yeah.
Still moving and humming,
It's still moving and humming.
So you try to get at the youngster, huh?
That's it. So that's what Auntie D, her engine is running.
Okay. Now I think you gonna get some male suitors on this here, cause they see you big time.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's right. But you know I'm your play son. I ain't gonna let them get too close to you.
No, you had to save me one night at Carol.
I sure did. I go to war behind Mama here.
Baby, Ken blocked that door. That man couldn't get in my car.
He was in love with Miss Sandra Dee, cause see, Sandra Dee still underselling what she be putting out. I think she wants y'all to come check her out. But don't they call you the DOG? What
That's
that
right.
mean?
I'm Sandra Dee, the original DOG, and that stands for Dirty Old Grandma.
What that mean by dirty?
Dirty Old Grandma.
What that mean by dirty?
Because I'm a cougar. That's what I am. And if you come to the movie, you will see all the paws and the claws that I'm working with.
All right. Now, what's your age bracket? Your age bracket with the cougarness.
Yeah, I don't want them too young, too young. I gotta be over 30. I can't do the 20s. I don't understand what they talking about. They got the flipping and the skrilling and the frilling and all that. I don't know what they saying. They might be cussing me out. I don't know what they're saying.
For real.
Yeah.
So I know you say you play this nice grandmother character in the movie.
Yes.
Now, in what relation to the other cast members are you in that role?
To the cougar? As the cougar?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. As the cougar, I get my paws on some peoples. I get my paws on some peoples.
Okay. Ain't nothing stopping you, huh? Ain't no upriding, no nothing, huh? But you know, as far as the movies are concerned, this is not your first movie that you've done, correct?
No, Nicole put me in one of her other Biff films, Bullet. I did Bullet with her. And I was doing Old Man Jackson with another director, too, also. So I've done about my third one. So
which capacity do you like better? Do you like comedy or do you like acting?
I like the comedy. I love comedy. Because I can say whatever I want to say on that stage. I love comedy. I like acting too. I just haven't, like I said, this was my third movie doing acting. I haven't really did a lot of acting. But I've done, but I love being on stage. I've been doing a lot of stand-up though. Since I started, I've been being booked a lot. So I've been enjoying it.
Most definitely, most definitely. And I caught you the last weekend and you had a heck of a set.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, you had me dying laughing the entire time. And it wasn't, you being on stage. It was just being around you that you bring the laughter out. You bring everything out.
Yeah, I think I was, I had something to say off stage too.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what are some of your influences in comedy?
Well, you know what? I've been watching comedy all my life. I've always loved comedy. I never thought I'd do stand-up, but I've always loved stand-up. See, and my era was the Eddie Murphy era with Saturday Night Live. When he first got on Saturday Night, I watched the original Saturday. When I was a teenager, that's what I watched was the original Saturday Night Live. That's when they started. When I was a teenager, that's when it started. And I know Gildan Radner, John Belushi, Garrett Morris. The skits. If you go back and watch the old Saturday Night Live now, you will see just the originality of all the skits they had. It was that was one, and then it went down a little bit, and then Eddie Murphy saved Saturday Night Live. Cause then I was back to watching my Saturday Night. I watched it even in the other days, but he brought the funny back to Saturday Night Live. Oh my God, Eddie, he did that. That was funny. So that was my one of my influence. And Bernie Mac, of course, Bernie Mac, Moms Mabley. These are people may not remember Moms Mabley. People don't know she was one of the richest comedians, and black and female. But they paid Moms Mabley a lot of money to do her comedy. So she was an influence of mine. And of course, Red Fox, who didn't get Red, and Richard Pryor. Right. I mean, those are the greats. I mean, you can go back. Comedy been around a long time. It just didn't start.
Most definitely. And you touched on the subject like Saturday Night Live. I remember those days. I even went back and researched. I even enjoyed Joe Piscopo.
Yeah, Joe Piscopo was funny. Yeah, he used to do Frank Sinatra a lot.
And him and Eddie, they were the duplicates.
Right. That like I said, that's what saved Saturday Night Live, because it got kind of weak for a moment. So it got a little weak.
So, if you had a dream movie that you could perform in, what would it be?
A dream movie? I probably would do something on the lines of a Moms Mabley movie. Cause I like the story. I like the story of her life, cause she broke a lot of barriers. And a lot of people don't know Moms Mabley broke a lot of barriers with her comedy. And she came from vaudeville, which if you study, you know vaudeville is one of the original entertainment fields, and she came from vaudeville. So, but I would probably do something like that, something on the lines of comedy, but a comedy story that telling people about the history of comedy, because a lot of people don't know the history of comedy.
Most definitely. So, what we're going to do at this point, Sandra, thank you for taking us through that history of comedy and also your history.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Most definitely. Now, what we'll do, we'll get right back after this commercial break, and we'll bring on the other star of the movie. So, y'all guys stay tuned. Ken Mills World Views on B.A.W.S Houston Network.
I want to give you the opportunity to tell your truth. So let's start with what happened.
This is Red Table Talk. Red Table Talk. Red Table Talk. This table carries no judgment.
I suffered trauma at an early age. This table brings out your truth.
I had to hit rock bottom. I had to lose everything.
This table encourages you to share your story.
I was just caught up in that pain.
This table has room for everyone.
For everyone.
Red table makes you emotional.
When there's a lot of love there, there's always a path towards healing. Intimate, provocative, unfiltered. Join us. Take a seat at the table. Only on Facebook Watch.
And we're back on World Views. Now, like I said before, we have an illustrious guest here. I'll introduce you real quick. This man is locally loved and internationally known. The multi-talented Lil Darrel. How are you, man?
Man, how you doing, my brother? You all right?
I'm good. So, Darrel, we here today to talk about a movie that you co-starred in with Sandra.
Yes, indeed. And it was a pleasure working with everybody in the movie, from the directors, the camera people, co-stars, and even the cooks that was on site.
Okay. Oh, the cooks.
It was a lot of cooking going on. Like, the people really was cooking in there.
Okay. So, Darrel, kind of take me through your venture through comedy. I understand that this wasn't your first action in entertainment.
No, I was an actor. I'm still an actor, but I did a lot of stage plays coming up, and that was my first thing. But got older, and you ain't in LA or nothing, so it was a lot harder to get your feet wet or get in the door with acting. So kind of just fell into comedy. I always knew I was, life of the party, or be the one dancing or making jokes or got everybody laughing, but I never knew it to transfer to an actual comedy stage, but it did. And there it is. We here now.
So, I mean, like others that have come before you on this stage, you've also kind of undersold it because you naturally turn, aren't you?
Well, I've dibbled and dabbled in other states that I ain't from, but if you want to say, I don't know if everybody in the international airport will know me, but at least maybe a couple of gates between A and B might know me. But I can contribute that to being on tour with Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. So that wasn't my first time going out of town, but that was my first time on a tour that was mainly out of town, taking me from the East Coast to further down south, West Coast, Midwest. So, yeah, you could probably go to Oakland or something and ask maybe 10 to 12 people, and they'll probably know me some, like not all in the same place, like maybe some people over there and a couple people over. You probably wouldn't run into nobody, but there's some people out there that do.
But I bet you they bought some of that merch you got.
They did. Everywhere I went, they bought some merch. It's at least 2,000-3,000 shirts and DVDs spread amongst the United States of America.
Right. So, I'll just give you a brief insight on what I see, because I travel and I also have people in other parts of the United States. When they talk about Houston, Texas, and they talk about comedy, they mention 2 or 3 people, but you listed in it.
Well, I don't know who you've been talking to, but I sure appreciate them telling you about it. Listen, I'm pretty humble, so I got a lot of work to do. I'm always grateful for where I am, but I'm not satisfied as far as where I want to be. So I never get too stagnant or get caught up in all of the lists or the name dropping. Look, if I can't walk in Walmart without being harassed by the M&Ms, then I ain't where I'm supposed to be at yet. So I do appreciate where I am known. I am grateful for it, but if I get too excited about the little stuff, then I'll never get to the stuff that's big.
Indeed, that's some wisdom there. So for all other entertainers and also people in all different walks of life that strive to be successful, take that word.
Take it. Humbleness will get you far. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to be confident, but you don't want to be too cocky and turn it into arrogance. And then you could be the most talented person in the world, but if people don't want to work with you because you're not a people person or they can't take your arrogance, then I mean you're gonna be stuck. I mean people still do it. I mean Kanye was arrogant as hell. I mean now he holding Sunday services. So I mean anything is possible, but that ain't where I want it. Like that's him, you know. But me, I just say, hey, you know, especially if you know you got it or people tell you a lot. No, don't let the big head get you filled up because your ass will be done floated all the way somewhere where you ain't even comfortable landing at, you know. So keep your feet on the ground. Don't let your head get too big headed. You can hear it, but don't listen to it too much to where it clog up what you need to be hearing to help you get better.
Right. So with anything, we normally need a support system to help us through. Can you kind of delve into your support system? Either familial or either within the comedy circles?
Yeah, shoot. Off the back right now, my wife, she damn sure a big supporter because she got a good job. So, me just tipping around here doing what I'm doing, I know if I wasn't doing what I needed to do, she one of them type of people that'll be like, hey, bro, I know what you doing, you love it and everything, but yeah, we need some more diapers. And you ain't buying no diapers because you ain't doing no shows. You gonna have to do something, either sell some pork chop sandwiches or do something. But the fact that she knows she met me when I was doing comedy already full-fledged because I've been doing it like, 8 years now? So 4 years full-time. So she met me when I was pretty much in it full time for at least a good year already. So she respect the grind. She even as a supportive, as small as you gonna go to the show with your hair like that, you not gonna do your hair. She don't even like braiding hair, but she'll braid mine just so I won't go out there looking crazy by the head or in front of people because she know appearance is everything. So she support me. My mama was a big supporter before she passed. Even though, you know, like any other mama, they want you to, you know, do something that they think is quote unquote most solid of a career that keep you to where, you know, you have support, benefits. I wasn't with all that, but I respected her wishes. But I had to show her enough of what I was doing, which that motivated me in itself to be like, you know what, it ain't that she don't believe in me. She just want me to be secure because she want me to be comfortable with life so I can have what I want to have. But I had to show her what I really want is to do something in my life that I love, regardless if I make $1,000, $1 million, or whatever the case may have you. But I don't want to do something in my life and I ain't happy. And once I let her see and made her realize that, and the fact that I was making more money doing that in the month than I was like teaching, then she got off my back. And then when I started going out of town and then doing shows with like actual stars and like Bruh Man and the Joe Torre and the Wild and Not Like DC Young Flying, Chico Bean and them, and doing all these and being on TV and going to New York and being on the Shaq All-Star competition, almost making it. Then she was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. And crazy part, after she passed and we was going through my grandmama's stuff, I found like her little prayer book that she wrote down prayers, and I seen like towards the beginning of my career, she wrote down a lot of her prayers that I made in the comedy and that I was prosperous and everything. And I didn't even know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I knew she had a prayer book, but And I knew she prayed for me, but I didn't know she was real keen on being specific about your prayers if you really want that specific thing. So for her to specify in her book with all the stuff she was going through with all the different cancers and to take our time to specify that one during the time I didn't think she was really, really like wanting me to do it, that meant a lot. So that kept me motivated even after she was gone finding that.
So I'm going to go back to the 2,000, 3,000 shirts you were talking about. What is the slogan on that shirt?
Make Mama proud again. And once again, that go with how I took the little Trumps. Not as, well, you know, it's a little, whatever you want to call it. It's just a red shirt with big tight white words. I mean, anybody that's done it, but obviously since he done it and he the biggest person on the spotlight, it's his logo, but it's not his logo. It's just white on red. You see what I'm saying? We've been buying shirts like that since the J's been coming out. White on red.
And family reunion.
And family reunion. Stop playing. Anyway, so I took it and made it, and I know it's at least 2,000-3,000 of them bad motherfuckers running around right now. So, and they still buying DVDs, even though I know everybody ain't got no DVD player, but they be buying them. And I ain't gonna lie, if you sell them, whatever, you can use it as a frisbee, a coaster, whatever. I don't care. Once you get it out of my pocket, all I know is I got $10.
Amen. Now, tell us a little bit about your role in Breakfast at Auntie Dee's.
Well, pretty much I was, if not the star, I was one of the stars. It wasn't but like 7 people in the whole movie, and that's counting the camera people and everybody. I'm lying. We had a party scene, and there was a whole bunch of people, but I mean, they ain't getting their name in the credits. But I'm just being messy. But
yeah,
real,
he shot a slug at me.
Yeah,
I don't care. I
mean, your name, you here talking about it now, but I mean, you can't just put all them people's name in the credits. They wasn't doing nothing but dancing. But anyway, me and Miss Sandra Dee was the stars of the movie. I think I went over to her house pretty much. Like everybody else, I wasn't even supposed to be in the credits either. I was just supposed to have been at the party and gone. But unfortunately, I got towed up. Apparently, I must have been on that white liquor, which I don't drink clear liquor. I am prejudiced when it comes to color on liquor, my brother. And after my past birthday this Sunday, I don't even drink for near the future, because that's why I got these glasses on right now, because I was throwing up so hard I think I blew a blood vessel in my eye, so now I got red eye, so now I'm Music Soul Child until that heal up. So I'm thinking about going to purchase me a few new shades at Marshall's or Roast, because as long as this eye socket is bust, I'm gonna have glasses on, so I don't even drink no more. But in the movie I was still drinking and walked up and was in that cooler house, and you know how that kind of go. Cooking. That's where all that cooking came from. I was telling you about at the beginning. They had to cook in real life for the movie. Thank goodness, because I mean they had everything: waffles, pancakes. They had strawberries on the waffles. I ain't seen nothing like that except Denny's. This was at regular people's house with some strawberries. I was like, they is really doing the most. But that was one of my favorite parts about shooting the movie was the food.
Yeah, because I tried to eat, but
not for the people. Y'all was getting chips and
yeah,
something to drink. This was
they
for
were
like,
aside,
this was for the 2-day shoot people. Y'all was just there for a day. Well, really just half a day, because it didn't take us that long to even shoot y'all scene, huh? Y'all was about 5 minutes y'all was in there, and then y'all
they gave me a Shipley donut. They gave me like a little bit of orange juice.
I remember that day, no ice.
No ice.
Juice.
They say just sip on it.
Get out. So, but nah, y'all had a good part. If without y'all part, we wouldn't have had that part in the movie.
Yeah, for real, for real. You know, I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, everybody got to do their part. Think about it. In some of them movies, without them extras, with them people walking across the street, wouldn't seem real.
It looks
It just looked like a dead walking movie. But we need them people at the post office just standing in line with just giving us our shoulder. I done seen people become rich off their shoulder. Just so you never know what your part might do in the movie. King, you might blow up. They might like the way you shimmied at the house party or something. Right. You never know.
Because I stole it from the Kappas. Kappas, noops, don't get mad at me. I kind of took a little bit from y'all.
That's where you either going to be caught up in that controversy
or
the dance moves. Either way, your name going to be talked about. That's a good thing. See how you little 15 seconds of fame turn into something else. So you got to be grateful for what you're getting. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
all that come back around.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
But look here, I ain't even tripping. You know, I'm just happy to be here, man.
Yeah, it is.
So, what we gonna do, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have the entire panel here. We're gonna cover some things as well.
You gonna have all of us?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll put you back there somewhere. You the style, man.
There's some wide-shouldered people that
I know, but you got the slim shoulder. You all right. You all right.
I actually got the widest shoulders.
You do?
Right now, just
you
the
do?
littlest frame.
Oh.
But go ahead.
Yeah. But I don't look. I ain't look.
My bad.
All right. So when we get back from this commercial break, we'll bring back the entire panel. So y'all stay tuned. World Views with Ken Mills on Boss Up Houston Network. Experience on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. That's my World Views. So I move forward. And now I'd like to thank you all for your time. But please join us on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on all streaming platforms. Join us on Boss Up Houston. Oh yeah, everything's from my life. Welcome back, y'all. Now we have everybody here. Everybody here. We got the whole illustrious cast of folks. Now, yeah, illustrious. You know, I learned that in school and I just held on to it. My mama say it make you sound like you know something.
It made me feel like
because it made me feel like I don't know shit. Because I didn't know this.
So,
I can't no. My bad.
So, you good. All right. So, we'll start with our first question here on the panel. So, due to the current events that we have NBA boycotting and everything. What are y'all's take on Jacob Blake on that situation? Start with Lil Darrel here.
Man, it's so much with it and a lot to just take in and so many different sides. It's like if you're on one side and you happen to see something another way, as if you've seen it through somebody else's eyes of another culture, you can't even really say you see it from their point of view in a certain situation, because every last one of these situations is different. We lumping them together because the situations and the whole thing is boiled over up to this point, which that's centuries of boiling over. So at that point, it's like, well, I expect the boiling over. Yeah, at this point, it don't matter what the situation was. We tired of it all together. And with speaking on this specific topic, I just feel like as us black men in particular, if we caught up in these situations as of today, we just gotta be smarter about how we handle ourselves. And I know we want to say about our rights, but we gotta make it home to the family first before we can even, like, we can't fight for nothing if we can't make it to the house. Meaning, if he knew he had them kids in that car, I don't want to even bring nothing towards that car. I'm going to talk to y'all right here, and I'm just going to get home. I'm not going to do nothing that make y'all eat. Now, if I stay in here and you shoot me, then hopefully this is like a George Floyd type situation. It's open and shut. But when I give you something to give them people to say I thought or it looked like or maybe it could be, they it's over. We lost again in another situation. Just get home first. So you might have to swallow some type of pride. You might have to bite some type of your tongue. Just get to the crib. And then we can discuss the situation. That's how I feel.
Right. To you, Penny?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm so desensitized from everything that's going on. And I have not read one article. I have not seen one video. I have completely, I can't. I just can't deal with that level of stress right now, because the whole, like, since March 16th, my birthday, it's been something ongoing in the world, and even more so like with work and the kids and home. There's just some things that I choose not to even worry about because I can't change it, unfortunately. But it's just going to make me continue to teach my son. When I hear of these things, then I take it as an opportunity to now talk a little bit more crap to my son about why he has to be a certain way when he's out in the streets, because, you know, hard-headed teenagers, slightly rebellious, kind of don't want to listen, you know, all the things that you see at home, you would hope that they don't go out in the streets and exude that and become another one of these victims. So it's a teaching opportunity for me. It's continuously a teaching opportunity. I'm tired of sitting in front of the TV with my son. I'm tired of saying, come watch this on TV. I'm not doing that. I can't. Because then I start to look at everything that my son does, and I'm scrutinizing what he's doing because I feel like he's going to be a victim, and it's not fair for me to be that way with him because I'm fearful. So I've taken myself away from it, and I've tucked all that into a nice little compartment, and I'm working on breakfast at Auntie Dee's, and it takes me away from it all. So I'm still living my little dream world until after September 6th, and then I'll deal with all the things of the world at that moment.
I don't know, I was just listening to my wife. I don't know, I think I hear different things when it comes to the protesting, and, you know, people want to stick riot with the word protest. I also hear, you know, officials, you know, whether it be law officials or political officials saying, you know, peaceful protest is the way. Back in 68, 69, they're still marching for the same things, you know, in peaceful protests. And so, you know, if peaceful protests are just getting us another march to go to, why is it still peaceful? You know, I don't, you know, I'm not with burning down or tearing up nothing, but what else do you want us to do? I mean, we just walking peaceful, and even with peaceful protests, we seeing the same things. We've been shot down in the street at a peaceful protest by people working with the police, basically. You know, they have something in the news right now where a young kid in Milwaukee came from somewhere else and killed two people, and they felt like he was protecting his whatever, but he wasn't even from Milwaukee. You know, it's just the injustice is just so blatant in your face that at times as a black man, you get tired, and it's almost like as a black man in America today, when you get stopped by the police, it's almost like this might be my execution. And personally, I ain't going out like that. I'm just not going out like that. I you know, my heart goes out to the family though, but I just can't go out like that. I can't do it. Somebody gotta go with me. Shit,
To you, Nicole.
I'm sorry.
I haven't got past the video. You know, and I'm kind of like piggybacking off of, you know, Penny. It's like you see it so much, it's almost desensitized, and it's like, what do you you know, you do, you know, whether you are abiding by the law, whether you're not abiding by the law, you know, it's. I'm tired, and don't know what to do, you know, because I asked the question like, okay, so we marching, and you know. What is that gonna do? Because, you know, this one thing happened. Okay, we marched, we saw this, and then it's, you know what I'm saying. So 2020, just in all, you know, in essence, is just to me an unveiling that this is because of social media. So we're really getting a chance to see, and somewhere, you know, in that silver lining, there is some type of change. I don't know what that is, but it's obvious that there is, you know, some type of change. And I don't know how fast that process is, but we are becoming more and more aware, I think, than ever. But I just haven't got past the video. I haven't shared it. I gave my opinion.
Well, I'm just gonna tell y'all one thing. Y'all better go vote, because I'm finna tell y'all something. This started in 2016 when y'all didn't go vote. Then that man got in office with all that racist rhetoric and calling those people good people on both sides. And then now you surprised it's escalated and you got a march and stuff. You didn't take your butt out there to vote in 2016. You can go vote in 2020 and you're talking about you're not finna vote in 2020. The next 4 years, they went into that woman's house and killed her. They gonna come in the house and get you. Ain't nothing gonna be done. Because you won't go vote. Look. You gonna have to do something for yourself. You can't look to other people to do something for you. When people gonna stand up and start doing something for themselves? Go out there. The only thing you got is your power as an individual is to go vote. You don't have no power as an individual but to go vote. Where is your power? Your power is in voting, and your voting count in local elections. It ain't about the president. If you don't go vote, you're not going to get the sheriff. If you don't go get the sheriff you want that's on your side, that's your fault. That ain't them people's fault. They went out and voted. Them white folks went and voted. Y'all didn't vote. That's y'all fault right now. I'm finna tell you something. You better start looking in the mirror. You better start looking in the mirror. And then you want the people to stop dying. Your people to stop dying. Y'all all better get together. And if you got a crowd to the polls, you better be there in November. And don't say nothing to me if you ain't there. Talking about you don't like Kamala, you don't like Joe Biden. This ain't no popularity contest. This is a matter of life and death. People dying of corona, people getting killed in the streets, and y'all's talking about y'all don't like nobody. That's y'all fault for some dumbness. I'm sorry. That's dumbness.
I can help you get registered.
All right. I just heard that. Now, let's do a quick parting shot. So, Darrel, how can people find you?
You can find me on everything under Lil Darrel the Comedian. That's LILDARREL, the Comedian, no spaces. That's MySpace. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube channel, all that. And it's Googleable. So just Google it, it'll pop up too.
Breakfast at Auntie D's is also Googleable. We are in that, or as they say, tap in. If you want tickets to the premiere on September 5th in Fresno, outdoor, social distancing. It's a whole event. Bring your own chair. We have food vendors, drink vendors, games, and come ride the bull. Come out and ride the bull. You can get tickets at Behind the Comic on Cash App. You can Zelle at 832-498-1500, or just check out Cliff2, CLIFFTOO, or Behind the Comic for more details. Get your tickets now.
Man, I just appreciate being here. Behind the Comics is trying to do some wonderful things for local comedians. Anybody, entertainers. Behind the Comics bring on some dynamic things. Please check us out. Just check us out. Behind the Comic.
All right, I am Nicole Mars, KNYCOLE, and you can find me on Facebook as Nicole Mars. You can find me on Instagram as Merkaba Scripts and Films. And you can email me at merkabastarfilms@gmail.com. And can I say something?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you, Trilly Poe. I am so excited because he will be one of the guests that will be performing September 5th at Breakfast at Auntie Dee's. And it's really special to me because he's Port Arthur, I'm Port Arthur.
All
so
right,
it's
Port
just
Arthur.
like, you know
Shout
what
out
I'm
to
saying?
Port
If
Arthur.
he, tell him, haters.
Sweet
Trillies.
Okay.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook at Sandra Dee, DEE. Don't go to the white people, look for the black lady. And Sandra Dee 100 on Instagram.
Solid. Not the white folks. The black ones.
Go ahead.
So shout out to our sponsors of this event. Our premier sponsor is Sweet Stings Homemade Pecan Candy. You better get you some. Look them up on all things social media. Sweet Stings Pecan, Homemade Pecan Candy. JY alumni in the building, class of 91. Also, I want to give a shout out to New Orleans Daiquiris to Go on Cullen. That's our other sponsor. I'll be there with tickets real soon. So look out to come to New Orleans Daiquiris to Go to get your tickets to the Breakfast at Auntie Dee's premiere.
All right. So, everyone has spoken. I'll leave you guys with this. So as you can see here, we have some of the best and brightest in Houston comedy right here. I'll start with Behind the Comic. Behind the Comic, they came in and told you their story and their journey to get this movie off the ground with Nicole Mars. With her insight, with her expertise, they paved the way and brought in Sandra Dee. Sandra Dee, our nice old grandma here, with beautiful antidotes and wisdom, and brother Lil Darrel, who told us to stay humble, who told us that he's driven by the fact of the women that are in his life, here and abroad, power him to do what he does, which was to me was a very encouraging story. Because I'll tell you this, as a comedian in Houston and also as an entertainer in Houston, it is extremely hard when we get out on stage and we perform things and we put a lot of work into our craft and our events, and sometimes no one comes. Sometimes no one comes. Or sometimes when people come, they may be distracted. They may be talking to the person that they came with, thumbing through their phone, or this, that, and the other. Now, would the same thing happen with someone who was declared a star? But I tell you this, it doesn't matter. You know who we are. You know the great work that we have put together.
Breakfast at Auntie Dee's. Take one. That's all it's going to take.
Doesn't mean you have to come out. If you see something, share it. Like it. Say what you like about it. Give feedback, because that only makes the product stronger. Also, if you do want to go out, spend money with local business, local black businesses. I think that's our mission at this point right now anyway.
Yes, it is.
This movie was created at the top of 2020, and we did not have any care about COVID. This is one of the last true moments before COVID that we were really happy.
Yeah.
So if you want to grasp some of that spirit, if you want to grasp some of that memory, support this movie. And also support not only the people that are on this panel, but support your Houston entertainers and comedians. They're going through the same struggle that you are. And I leave you with this scripture. My favorite one, Psalms 121. I look to the hills for what's coming my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So as you see us here, we grounded in faith, and that's what powers us. whatever powers you, whatever Most High, whatever deity you follow, stay close to it. Open your minds, open your hearts, and stay safe. Ken Mills here with World Views on Boss Up Houston Network. I also would like to send prayers to my family in South Louisiana and also on the bordering state of Louisiana, Orange, Port Arthur, Beaumont. And also to anybody who is going through what they're going through now. And one last thing, people always tell me that I'm well-spoken or I try to do great things in the community. There was an individual who brought me to this point, none other than Lawless Boyd III. He made 75 this week on Tuesday. That's my mother's eldest brother that's living. And my family, people in my family didn't make it past that point. So that's a huge kudos. We'll see y'all next week where we'll have the faith episode. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Shout out to Keystone Films.
Yeah.
Wine, dime, killing time. Heard it through the grapevine. You the type of you that like to get down anytime. Wine, dime, killing time. Heard it through the grapevine. You the type of you that like to get down anytime. Wine, dime, killing time. Heard it through the grapevine. And you the type of you that like to get down anytime. Gun P sipper, Moet Patron sipper. Do you the type of girl that like to pull down the zipper?
I like those shoes.
Etouffee, appetizer. After this, I'm digging your thighs. Real debonair's eyes. Look in your eyes. You got a smirk upon your
Go sit down, baby. Go sit down.
And I'm impressed with your waist, with deep shape in your thigh. Compliment you on your booty and your hair and your booty. Hey.
Here you go, baby.
Wine, dine, killing time. Heard it through the grapevine. And you the type of dude that like to get down anytime. Comfort zone where you
Cut.
Breakfast at Auntie D's. Take one. That's all it's gonna take.
Rick and Daddy's on the beat.
wine, dime, killing time. Heard it through the grapevine.